to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Foo.
I feel like I've got only like a slimmed down amount of things to talk about.
Yeah.
But yet it goes a cascade of different ways really fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or not.
I mean, the Christmas just fucking punched me in the face and ran off. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it was fast.
I can't believe it's already over.
Really?
Yeah. It was almost like an out-of-body Christmas experience this year for me. Like,
yeah.
Oh, it's happening, sort of, I guess. You know?
Yeah.
Like I've said this before. The calendar shit sometimes just sneaks up on me.
Right.
And Christmas is one of those holidays. I don't want it to sneak up on me, but this year it really just did, despite whatever intentions I have.
Because for a fact, we recorded a podcast where we were like, Christmas shopping's and it's coming up, and Christmas was mentioned a number of times.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Friday or Christmas Eve. You're like, I'm somewhere and I've got tons of shit still to do, and I'm cooking and I have wrapping to do. I'm like, how the fuck did we get here?
Yeah.
Sir.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So clearly it snuck up on you and gave you the business.
I always have this intention of like wrapping everything early. And it just doesn't, like, my mind says, you got time. You got time.
Yeah.
But then that turns in, it's like sometimes people do their best work when they're under the gun. Right. And I'm not saying that's this situation.
11th hour.
But like, when you're forced to do it is when when the rubber hits the road, right? That's
right. Yeah.
It has to get done. But I literally, like on Christmas Eve, was in the kitchen cooking from like 10 o'clock in the morning until 5:30.
Yeah.
Baking shit and making, it's insane.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's fucking Christmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just like that.
I believe you 100%. And here, hey, welcome to Sad Dads Club podcast, episode Triple Deuce.
Yeah, this is...
See what I did there? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Triple
the Lord.
Deuce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two. It's like a goocher.
Like 3 shits.
I'm the Lord Foo.
I'm Jim.
Okay. So, and here's the deal. So you were caught unawares and slammed.
Yeah.
And I think we've got at least 2 episodes where I said I was done.
I know.
I was done.
Okay.
So
you didn't have that.
So it's on
problem.
the record. No, so here's the what the twist.
So you're saying you did?
Oh fuck yeah! So I had everything wrapped. The tree has been the bulk of my stuff has all been on the tree. Now the gotcha here is that then we like the stockings and stocking stuffers are almost like its own little mini game of gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's candy and treats and whatnot.
Right.
But of late, there's like some like Hydro Flask stickers and gag things and like Venus got Xander, the world's smallest functioning super soaker.
Okay.
It's like one pump.
Yeah.
But
so it just looks like he tinkled a little bit.
But it's got anyway.
It'll put your eye out?
Yes. I got the smallest Optimus Prime.
Oh.
So to go into my Optimus Prime shrine.
Right.
So it's a thing.
Roll out.
Yeah, roll out. It's the world's smallest Starscream, Bumblebee, and Optimus Prime. Those are like little micro. Anyway, totally funny. Great gag. Hashtag way to go wife. The bulk of the stuff is wrapped.
Yeah.
And then Christmas morning, Xander's like, when do you want me to put coffee on? And we're going to do breakfast. And at the time in which I had to put prime rib in for its size, it was going to be a jammed morning.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to here and here. And
your oven cooking, right? Do you have 2 ovens?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, thank God.
Yes. 2 ovens. Yes.
Yeah.
So
we just have 1 oven.
That would be serious. And I was juggling stuff. It was precarious.
Yeah.
Not dangerous, precarious.
Yeah.
So I'm up early anyway. I beat my son up and not beat him up physically.
I'd like to see his shiner.
Yeah.
At a minimum.
Yeah. At his size and it'd probably crush a skull. So I'm up before he is and kind of wandering around. I've got time to kill, and it doesn't even occur to me that I've got episodes back. I think I talked about freeze-dried candy.
Mm-hmm.
And like a TikTok. It's like a TikTok thing. I think when we did the really sour shit, that put me on a feed of TikTok or Instagram stuff of like this new thing with freeze-dried candy. So early in December, I bought like a sampler of freeze-dried candy. Some it's the new taffy thing.
Laffy Taffy?
Not Now and Later's. It's High Chews.
Mambas? Oh.
High Chews. High Chews, sour Skittles.
Bless you.
Exactly. And then normal Skittles.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had them. Totally forgot. I was going to put them in little boxes, little baggies, and then put them in the stockings. Totally forgot about it. So we're all sitting down to like do the part out all the gifts. And it occurs to me, well, I got to hand out the stockings. Oh, fuck, I forgot the candy.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. So I take all the stockings, make my little bags, put the stockings in, hang it back up.
Oh, so it was freeze-dried. You remembered to do the freeze-drying. You just didn't put it together.
Right. And then because I had to take it. Usually I would do that Christmas Eve when no one's looking.
Right.
Like, how did it get here? I don't know. It's the magic of Christmas.
It's all broke now.
It's everyone saw the fucker behind the curtains. And then, so
that wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Right. I made that run, and then we're all getting ready to sit down again. And Venus, midweek, she was at Safeway doing a grocery run, and she comes home and she has like it's like some s'mores graham cracker thing. It comes in like a little pouch, like a small Ziploc pouch thing. And she like kind of flips it to me in the office. She goes, "Put that in my stocking." And I went, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
So I had put it in the fridge out here because it's kind of chocolatey or something. So I wanted it cold. So I make that run, and then I realize, oh, fuck, Mom's chocolate. And then it's a whole thing. Like, I literally told you to put that in my stocking. I'm like, I was busy. And the reason I probably forgot about it was because at midnight, I took my daughter out to go throw the fucking field.
That's right.
Over Biggie, because fuck that guy.
Well, I was like impressed because, like, I was like, fuck, that guy's all done. Like, he's got nothing to do except go do that. Right. And I'm like, he's a badass. That's how badass he is. That he's like way ahead of shit.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh. I totally shell gamed the thing I was supposed to do because I was like, hey. Piper and Venus were sitting in the kitchen, and it was like 9:00.
Yeah.
And I said something like, "Does anyone want to go make into somebody sad for Christmas? Does anyone want to be a Merry Resistmas?" And Piper's like eyes got silver dollar. She's like, "I like that idea."
Yeah.
And I went, "Seriously?" She's like, "Yeah. What do we got to do?" I'm like, "I don't know. Somewhere about midnight, we're gonna throw a field over dude's house." And she's like, "Cool. All right." So the screenshot I sent you. All I did was drop keys. I just drove her out there, and she fucking killed the stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
And then she threw the field. Anyway.
That's hilarious.
So then we came home, and we're just having a big old roll about it. It was kind of funny. But then it probably displaced my... I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I guess I should go to bed now, when I should have been stuffing stockings.
Mm-hmm.
So even in my...
preparedness.
I was pretty much done shopping a week and a half outside of
October.
Outside of Thanksgiving, with stuff wrapped and under the tree by my birthday. So that's early December. And I still was...
In your mind, you were done.
Yes.
You're like, fuck.
Yeah. And
done.
then it wasn't until, oh, well, shit, I got those.
Oh, I do have.
Oh, shit. And it was the little knickknacks and stuff like that. And oddly, and then all my cooking stuff was dialed in. So the I suppose if I dial back into cooking, let's go with gifts. Did you? All gifts are important and special. Did you get something that stuck out more than anything? That was like, oh man, I didn't see that one coming, and that's cool. You don't have to. I mean, you don't want to shame anybody.
No, it's I'm sure there is. I just can't think of it.
Can't think of it?
Yeah.
So I got two things. One came today, and one
it was late.
One I pretty much fed, but I got
I blame FedEx.
Right. Well, it came from the Ukraine.
Oh.
So war.
Yeah.
Problem.
In between shelling, they were able to get your package out.
Right. You know.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be late. Okay. You know. Well, I mean, war.
Yeah.
I pretty much asked Venus for the Ray-Ban. What is the reissues?
Like Wayfair
of Ken Miles's Ray-Ban Ballaramas that he wore in. I mean, he didn't wear, but he was famous for wearing them while racing. They're a green tint, and I don't know if they're polarized at the time, but they're driving glasses. And Christian Bale wore the replicas in the Ford versus Ferrari movie. I absolutely love the form. They're pretty penny, Ray-Bans, so pretty penny. And it was one of those things where I was flipping through some stuff, and Venus was giving me her hashtag I love my wife. I'm like, I'll give you a freebie. Like, I would really like these. And she got them.
Nice.
And they fit. God, they fit so nice.
Yeah.
Of course, now I'm, wear glasses, but they fit so nice. The second thing, the thing that came today, she said it was coming internationally and from Ukraine, but didn't say what it was. So I didn't know, is this like a cookbook or something? And I made a joke with her because when it came today, I'm like, I didn't have to sign for it. But she was like, oh, it's your thing. I'm like, is it like a piece of tank armor from a Russian tank, and that we can all taunt and poke at it and make jokes about it?
Yeah.
She's like, no.
I can't imagine her.
What it ended up being was a crafted piece of. It's a knife holder, but it's made out of olive wood, and it's one of those resin, live edge resin things. So it's small. It's probably by 10 by 10, maybe 10 by 14, olive wood with a copper and a bluish white resin wave in the middle, with it's like a pearl resin. It's absolutely gorgeous, and then it has inside the half-inch, 3/4 inch of the slab itself has buried rare earth magnets, so it magnets your knives.
Oh, nice.
So
it's not. It doesn't have a magnet across the front.
No,
it's
in there, and it's got at least 2 bands of them because on the back side of it, it's then covered in another pretty piece of resin. So you're not getting them out, and you can't see them, and it's close enough to the wood itself, and they're strong enough that you stick a knife on there, it's on there.
Yeah,
it's absolutely gorgeous, and that it came from Ukraine is two birds, one. I mean, it's super special,
right.
And I told her and Piper, because I get this shit all the time. We don't know what to get you. And I told them again this year, I said, I don't need anything. I don't need anything. I'm okay.
Yeah.
But there is something special in seeing what comes out of what you might think is special to me based off of me. What?
Yeah.
Right? The one year I got driving gloves, and it's but you understand something about me and driving that you got me driving gloves. Like
Right.
it's special.
Yeah.
The one year Venus got me like these USA Oakleys. Like out of the blue, like fucking Oakleys. Yeah, running, sports, all that stuff, like super special. This is like, it's right out there. And we've only had, because it came so late and she just got off work. Like, I haven't really had this much interaction with her. It looks, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm like, I don't know if I can, like, I cook like a slob sometimes with like the amount of like fried stuff and the stove. I'm a dervish in the kitchen,
Right.
and I don't know how some other people are putting the knives back up in the butcher block. Like, I don't want greasy knives touching this gorgeous piece of wood. I'm like,
typically I will if I'm using my knives, they'll get set aside and then washed at the end, or if I need them for different stuff, they'll get cleaned and then used again. And cleaned and used again.
I'm frequently...
They're not getting put back in the block until the end of the night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm frequently cleaning my stuff, but the proximity of where the knives are and typically the things that we cook, like there's always some amount of splatter. Like, I don't want this thing... I mean, I'll bring it out here when we're done. It's absolutely gorgeous. Like, it's in fucking Ukraine.
Right.
It came with like a really nice handwritten note, like, thanks for your patience. And Venus was like, the lady was super nice to work with. I'm like, this is almost pretty enough where I don't want to put knives on it. Like, I would like to just look at it.
Right.
It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous piece of wood. And if you've seen any of the things, the wood coasters that we do here in the house, or the things that my dad's been working on, like, or the clocks, like the burl stuff. And if you've seen any of the things on YouTube where it's like the new hot thing to do the live edge with an epoxy river or something like that,
Right.
this is that kind of thing. I'm sure I've beaten it to death, but it's gorgeous. And what a great... I don't know if I would get that if I said, I would like driving shoes, and I need a new chair, and I need a new desk thing, a lamp, and a USB, and
Yeah.
Like, I would get exactly those things, and it would be like, I appreciate that, absolutely, but this is so far out of left field that it makes it that much more special.
Right.
And to that end, I got a lot of the kids, stuff on their list and other knickknacks, but everyone in the family this year got a picture that was that, I don't know if they know, but they, will eventually, I guess, when they listen, was by far and away probably some of the cheapest things I got anybody, but super important. I got Venus a picture of her and I, and then the kids. I can't remember if I talked about it so I was on the DC trip with both kids. While flipping through pictures for looking for stuff for my dad, I had realized that when I got to the DC stuff, I had within 3 steps or so, I had taken the same picture with both Piper and Xander years apart,
Right.
with the Washington Monument in the background with the reflecting pool, like on the steps of the Lincoln Monument, like selfie pose, same hat, different kids.
Yeah.
Could
have been the same.
4 and change.
Could have been the same trip as far as you know.
Could have been. I mean, the beard had more
different.
gray in it, and I think I might have been clean shaven in Piper's.
Different shirt.
And different shirt.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where I wasn't looking to do that when I did it. And certainly when I was going through, like, oh, I should print some pictures. There was like a moment where I went, that's important to me. Like, and I don't know if they know, like, how important it is.
Right.
Like, if you don't want the pictures, give them back. Because I will hang them. Like, and then when they open them, they kind of, oh, no, special. And I didn't quite get to say, and it's, to me, because it's an exact moment, a space and time where I was there for both kids.
Right.
Not to take that away from Venus, but I was lucky enough to be able to do that. And the uncanniness of actually being in the same spot, with the same background, with both kids is like, well, goddamn, that probably won't ever happen. Outside of maybe like a graduation, taking a picture with both kids while they're graduating with like friends on the same field here at Wood Creek or something.
Yeah.
That's special. Like, yeah.
So speaking of that, Chandler and Nicole,
yeah,
they went to JCPenney's.
Okay.
And well, first they went thrifting and bought some retro clothes. Then they went to JCPenney and had photos taken at the studio.
Oh.
Goofy.
Oh, nice.
Chandler and Nicole pictures.
Okay.
Like there's dozens of them.
Okay.
And then they picked out pictures and gave everybody a framed 5x7.
Oh, that's awesome.
Of those photographs.
Yeah.
They were funny. I'll show them to you.
Yeah.
Afterwards, because they're fun. I have them
like a specific era of retro. Like, are we talking?
Just kind of like maybe 80s or 90s ish kind of clothes.
So should we be concerned that JCPenney's would still have that kind of stuff?
No, they went.
Oh, thrifting.
They went thrifting.
You said thrifting.
Yeah, they went thrifting, and then they went and had the pictures taken.
Uh-huh.
And what's funny is they're telling the story. And first of all, the pictures are fucking hilarious.
Okay.
They're fucking hilarious. So that was probably a standout.
All right.
Speaking of photographs.
Right.
But they were telling the story, and the photographer girl who was taking their photos thought that they were brother and sister.
Oh, boy.
And it wasn't until some part way or most of the way through the shoot that they
put
were
his hand up her skirt.
And they wanted to do the picture where they put their hand, do their backs to the camera, and they kind of turn around with their hands out like this. But they were like, "Oh, can we put our hands in each other's pockets?"
Right.
As a funny haha.
Right.
And she's like, "Well, okay, but I mean, I wouldn't normally do that with a brother and sister. It maybe." And she's like, "No, we are a couple."
Yeah.
And she had told her like 2 times.
We're smashing.
For some reason, this girl just didn't hear it.
Oh.
But so that was kind of a funny part of the story. But I'll show you the photographs.
Yeah.
Before I leave, don't let me forget. It's hilarious.
My dad, I got my dad a picture that I took when we were in Alaska, and I got it printed on that, like the aluminum stuff. The funny part with that is that for the last 3 weeks, when my dad comes down on Fridays, he's been jawing at me like, "So how do I take like photos from my phone and do that like printing thing?" And I'm like, "Well, Dad, on the Apple there's like a third party thing that you can do that like does it all for you, or you can, since all of your stuff is backed up from your phone, it's actually also backed up into Google Photos. You can do what I did, and I had mine from Google Photos. I had them printed on a canvas, but you can take those and go to like a Costco or any place will actually take a photo."
Yeah, just that you can go to the Walgreens website on your phone and do them that way. You don't even have to have them anywhere.
It was slightly abridged too far for him, but I showed him how to do it with his Google stuff. But you could tell he was like,
I'm nervous.
Right. But he would come down, we would talk about stuff, and he'd be like, "So how was it that I take the pictures?" And like in the back of the office, I've got this thing, like, I know exactly how to do this workflow, Dad, because I did it but I'm not telling him that.
Right.
Because I'm like, oh, well, because in the end, some of the pictures I took were really nice. And I'm like, fuck, if I tell him how to do it all the way, he might take one of my pictures and print it And then he's got what I fucking gave him.
Right.
I'm like, eh. So I was like slow dragging my feet the whole time. And then he showed up for Christmas dinner. He's like, oh yeah, Uncle Larry, who went, he's like, he got me a picture of us up there at fucking Alaska. And I went, what was it? And he's like, oh, it was all of us brothers at the fish board with all the fish. And I went, oh, okay. He's like, and he did it. He put it on that aluminum thing. You got to show me how to do that. I'm like,
motherfucker.
I'm like, well, at least it wasn't my picture. So midway through dinner again, I'm like showing him how to fucking do it again. And we waited for the rest of the kids. We'd split our dinner to do one of the, like we had small, we just had my dad and Venus's dad and Mary for our dinner. And then we would do like the post, show up for desserts and coffee, cocoa. And then we'll do like my family's gift exchange kind of thing. We waited. Both the other families, brother and sister, it just got too late, so it didn't happen. So I'm like, all right, well, we're having pie. And I went and got my dad his thing, and ting, 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 he opens it up. Oh, my God. Is this on the aluminum? Yeah, fucking dad, it's on the aluminum. How did you do that? Dad, I'm not going to walk you through this again.
Now you can show him.
Right.
Now
I'm
it's
like,
fine.
Just hang it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but... Now
he can pick his own pictures, and he won't pick that one.
You come down, and he's like, where'd you take this? I'm like, Dad, I was right on this steps. I was like, wow, that's a gorgeous picture. I'm like, fucking I know.
That's why it's on the aluminum.
That's why it's up there for you. And the third-party Apple app, I put Alaska 2022 on it, and it's a, like a nice HDR sunset thing with like daisies. And it was a really nice picture.
Cool.
So he was happy.
Pictures are good.
Pictures are good.
I did get a compressor, so I'm happy about that.
Like a pancake or a big boy?
Just a little 6-gallon pancake. I don't need
I
don't need a big thing. A little one that fits in the garage.
Yeah, that's
that
why
I can blow
I'm
out
happy.
Filters and.
Like 2 years back, Chuck got me the little pancake guy.
Yeah,
it does everything I need to do.
What do I need a giant 25-gallon?
Until such time as with the advent of cordless tools, I'm kind of hard pressed to find anything that I need something.
Yeah,
more than the pancake for.
I don't even need compressed air tool, pneumatic tool stuff. I just need to blow some air sometimes, or put some air in tires. That's it.
Yeah,
really.
I would agree.
But I was excited about that. So last night I had to go to Harbor Freight and get a kit for it, like a hose kit, and like came with a little spray and a bunch of connectors, and I got all that set up, and I was like, ooh, give me the air filter, and I sprayed the shit out of that, and then give me the vacuum, and I cleaned the shit out of the vacuum and its filter. Yeah. And then I'm like, Shannon, is there anything you want blown out? Well, I've got the compressor out.
She's like, you could blow out this Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. No, that's...
She disappeared to the bedroom. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. She's like, oh, I was expecting you to blow it out. And you're like, what?
I was excited to have that compressor. So
yeah. That's nice.
Yeah.
So you're cooking.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
It went well, except.
Okay.
I mean, we instead of doing pies this year, we just decided I'm going to bake a bunch of cookies.
Okay.
For everybody. So I made a couple batches of Toll House cookies, one with like semi-sweets and one with dark chocolate morsels.
Mm-hmm.
And they were coming out flat. They would like spread out on the tray and get flat, and I was getting really irritated, and I'm like, none of my stuff's old. Like the baking soda's not old. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
The butter was softened and not melted.
Right.
And so what I figured out was my oven is running about 30 degrees hotter than it should be.
Oh, shit.
And
that's a problem.
Yeah. So I have a Weber iGrill thermometer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what those are?
Yeah.
So it's got 4 probes that you can hook up to it. So I threw a probe in there on a clip on the rack.
Right.
And closed the thing, and I was like, oh, well, that's why
that'll do it.
They're fucking like melting on the tray and then getting super crisp. Not that bothers me. That's not what I was going for.
Way.
Yeah. It's not what I was going for everybody else too.
Right.
So finally got the temperature of the oven under control, and it was, like I said, it was about 30 degrees, setting it lower than what I should have set it at.
Yeah.
So that explained that. But once I got that dialed in, everything was good. I did some peanut butter cookies, and I make those Western Range cookies. Man, everyone just killed those.
Mm-hmm.
And I made some peanut butter cookies with like the kisses in them.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
peanut butter blossoms, I think, is what my wife calls
is that
them.
what they're called?
Well, I don't know. That's what she calls them.
Well, what's weird to me is you can take the peanut butter cookie dough and then roll it out and put it on the tray.
Right.
And recipes that I see say just cook the ball.
Okay.
And then when it comes out of the oven, you just put the kiss on it and it squishes out, and then it'll firm up as it cools.
Okay.
That's essentially what they say. But in the past, I have put the ball down and then put the kiss right on top and baked them with the kisses on the cookies, and they don't melt. They stay the same. They look the same.
Yeah.
So this time, instead of doing the whole bake, I pulled them out, put the kisses down like halfway, and then baked them the rest of the way.
Okay.
But I just think it's interesting that they don't melt. You would think they would just melt, but
I think it's like because it's a blend and you're not touching it, I don't think it loses its structural integrity.
Maybe that's
Although
it.
I don't know. It's interesting because I don't think I've ever caught 100% how Venus makes hers, whether she's doing
the thing at the end,
thing at the end, or baking it with them in it.
Yeah.
I don't know 100%. Yeah, I don't.
So I never knew which way was the right way, and I think the first time I ever made them, I just was like, oh, I'll just put the kiss on there.
And I want to say when I've made mine, because I take when I make the chocolate chip cookies, I'm like loosely chopping a Hershey bar.
Right.
I have cooked my cookies, and so that's milk chocolate, and I've still been able to make out the logo, like a Hershey logo, in a milk chocolate shard.
Interesting.
In the cookie. So but if I were to touch it, I guarantee you it would. Bleh.
That's true, but also, when you think about it, like the chocolate chips retain their shape in a chocolate chip cookie, also.
Yeah, but the moment you give it any sort of
movement,
bleh.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
So I just thought that was interesting. I made some stuffing for the girls. I forget what else. But yeah, everything went well, and then it's like we got to have everything ready and hot and ready to go. I made like a sweet potato thing. But it's like everything's got to come out of the oven, be hot, and then go in the car, and then we drive away with all the stuff ready to go.
Right.
So then we go to my in-laws, and then we have dinner over there.
Right.
So it becomes like this. It's a little bit of kind of stress.
Yeah.
Put on you because Raj has got a turkey going, and they're doing their own thing, and then it's like we're all planning on a certain time, and if everything's running behind, that oven in my house was on for hours. You know what I mean? Just cooking away, doing all kinds of stuff, and I was working my ass off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so that was I was like, well, we're going to be at least leaving here 25 minutes later than we expected because stuff didn't get in the oven until later. And Melanie made something in the middle of all of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the kitchen's not very big. We only have one oven.
And one oven.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on Christmas Eve, I think I talked about it last week. I was like, I'm running out of the time before PTO ends and the things that I want to do.
Yeah.
I had on my list of stuff to do, I wanted to try the kolaches again, which is like a Czech Eastern European pastry thing. And if you've listened in long time back in the episodes, that's one of the our family spoken contest things where it's like, if you don't nail it, you don't tell anybody, and if you nail it, then you're the king or queen shit. But you either nail it or you don't. There's no in between.
So wait, if you don't nail it, do you even bring it?
No.
Oh.
You do not.
So you make it and then go...
Right. Unless you're my dad, who's foobarred his pecan pie twice now, and he still brings it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't good?
But
not edible or edible?
My dad's pecan pie?
Yeah.
Not
edible? Really?
Thanksgiving, it was pretty bad.
Really?
And he knew it. He knows. It was above board. And
so what is it? How is he foobarring it?
So a pecan pie is typically cooked at two temperatures at two stages. So like you cook it hot for X amount, I don't know, and then you lower it and then cook it for a second duration. I don't know what happened at Thanksgiving, but it was burnt. Shit was burnt.
Okay.
Like the bottom crust was burnt. For the Christmas one, it wasn't as bad as Thanksgiving. It was just like a dark roast. And he knew what he did. He left it at the hot temperature too long, I think he said. And then he tried to lower it and let it coast for whatever the remaining temperature was, and it just overcooked it. So it was just overdone. So Christmas Eve, I'm like, I'm gonna do this. This was a checkbox for my PTO, and I haven't made these in probably 10 plus years. But I'm like, I've nailed them before. Everyone knows I've nailed them before. I'm gonna dust this shit off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
And I think that was when we were talking, and you're like, I've been fucking cooking all day, and I gotta come back and wrap shit.
Yeah.
And it was like one of those things where I realized you were probably pots on all kind of thing. And I was in the kitchen all day too, but it was like for one item. And it was because the one recipe that I was going off of that was like a family, like a core of the family recipe on these archaic directions that like have so much wiggle room in between.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was because I hadn't made them in so long. I'm like, yeah, but what goes in between here? There are 3 rises to this sweet dough, each at an hour apart. So you're mixing here. The house is way too cold. So I've got to either bring the temperature of the house up, or I've got to I'm rotating warm towels to make sure the yeast actually activates and shit,
or get the oven a little bit warm.
Right.
Yeah.
And whenever you're dealing with like a rising bread thing, like if you've done it, you understand, and not in a bread machine. You've done it, you understand this temperature is a fine fucking line.
Yeah.
I need to time out for a break. Nat's toffee. Hashtag Nat's toffee is the best toffee ever.
Yeah. Why isn't she selling that stuff?
I just finished my last fucking square.
Yeah.
And it's probably for the best. Dave, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to Dave and Nat. The toffee, good God.
Yes.
It was amazing.
I sent her a message on Facebook and said, that stuff's delicious.
It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everyone in the house tried some, but I ate 95% of it.
Yeah.
It was, like I said, I finished the last one.
My precious.
Yeah. It was, God damn it. And I'm not a toffee person.
And Shan's not there's white chocolate stuff in there too.
Right. I think that was the layers.
Yeah,
it was like chocolate, white chocolate.
She's not a white chocolate person at all. And she's like, oh, this is good.
It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Best shit ever.
Yeah.
So, bread, yeast, temperature is a fickle fucker.
Yeah.
Like if you're out, it messes up everything. So, I'm working through it. It looks like it's going to come out. It essentially makes a batch makes 12.
That's a long haul for 12.
It absolutely is. And then I felt like, and I'm chatting with you, and you're like, I'm in the kitchen, and I'm like, I've been in here all day too, but I guarantee you I'm not working as hard as Jim. But yet the meticulousness of needing to make sure that this dough doesn't, like, I can't leave because if someone farts wrong and this thing deflates, then I got to start all over again.
Right.
And because I'm trying to do the family recipe first, I'm like, I gotta stick this out, and I started 11 o'clock, but with the rises, it's like mid-evening, and I'm trying to, and they came out okay. And I think we had, I made that batch Christmas Eve. But the problem was, one, because I hadn't made them in so long, I didn't 100% know how close I was to being dialed in. But they tasted, it was a sweetbread. It tasted good. The fruit, everything rose. Were they as fluffy as I wanted? Not necessarily, but with 3 rises, it's like, well, how, I'm not even sure how that was supposed to work out at 3 rises anyway. Emily stopped by early Christmas morning to get a couple of gifts. Emily is Ukrainian, and her family does a lot more Russian, Ukrainian, Eastern European foods. Like they go to like the Russian markets, wherever that is, I don't know. But they're very familiar with more Ukrainian, Russian stuff. So I was apprehensive about, because she knows what the dish is. She knows what the pastries are.
Right.
So I had no intention of giving her one, because I figured if there was ever someone that was going to absolutely shit on my American version of a Czech Ukrainian pastry dish, it would be someone that would probably have firsthand knowledge of how bad they were. So I was like, I can't really give her some. I'll just wait for Dad to get here and be like, Dad, how close are these? And then I would ask him to be brutally honest, and he would be like, oh. And
so the point of that is to make another batch, I assume?
Right.
Okay.
So, right. I need to know how close I am.
Give me the feedback so I can adjust.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm almost at the end of PTO. I'm not 100% satisfied with how they looked. And I threw away 6 because I overcooked them by about a minute and a half, and they completely roasted on the bottom.
Oh.
So when we talk about the pecan pies and the things, if you get it wrong, no one sees it. Oh yeah, nope, these are straight to the can.
To gone.
Yeah. Bye-bye. But she came over, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta know, because I gotta know. So I'm like, I need you to don't blow smoke up my skirt. How close am I?
Yeah.
And
can we talk about how you're wearing a skirt?
Hey, man, when you cook, you cook however you need to, babies. You just gotta swing it and keep it cool. Yeah. She smelt the dough, like the actual pastry, for a lot longer than I was like, wait, what is she doing? Like,
she's noticing something.
She's doing something. She smelt it for a good while, and then ate the entire thing. And I'm like, so I just need, like, you've had one way more recent than I have. How? She's like, it's perfect. It's close. It's right there. She's like, it absolutely smells like it. And I would never have thought that you would be dialing it in with the smell. She's like, yeah. And we talked about how poppy seed filling is like a calling card for Czech Ukrainian. Like, my dad lives and dies by the filling being like a sweetened poppy seed filling. I don't see that filling in anything else but these. And my dad will tell you that the only real filling is the poppy seed one. And she mentioned that her mom, like, is the same way that I think she said that they have a bowl or a jar or a can of the stuff that they use to, like, top desserts or put it in stuff. Like, it's totally a thing for Czech and Ukrainian desserts.
Okay.
So she knew I knew what she was talking about, and she knew what I'm like, well, I did like a raspberry and an apricot. Like, number 2 is apricot. Cream cheese filling is probably number 3. So she didn't really have any thing for me to work on. But I was like, at the same time, I'm like, well, you goddamn check that shit out.
I did throw some away.
I fed one to a Ukrainian, and the Ukrainian was like, it's perfect. And I was like, you goddamn right. Absolutely. But I was really looking for
more feedback. Yeah.
Like, no, it's too dense, too airy, too small. They need to be.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, fuck. But I ran the jokes, obviously, about nailing it for the Ukrainian. I'm like, so your mom knows? She's like, absolutely. I'm like, take one and give it to your mom and tell me what your mom says. Because her mom's like native Ukrainian. Like, yeah, she's naturalized citizen here,
right?
But native Ukrainian. I'm like, well, fucking, here we go. Take it home to your mom. Ask her what she thinks.
Yeah.
In between, that morning, I decided I'm gonna start the variant, like the other version that gives me you cook 12 of them in one pan, and they rise to about 2.5, 3 inches tall, and they all kind of squish together. These the ones I made first batch were kind of like their own entity, is like a donut. They didn't touch each other. They had their own crust entirely. The second version, which is the one I kind of remember as a kid that my grandma used to make, was she has this pan. It's like a 9x13 pan with like 2.5-inch walls, and they all squish together, and you've got to like spatula them out because they all like a cinnamon roll. They all rise and come up together at about 1.5 inches, 2 inches tall. Like, I need to make that one. And that one had only 2 rises, egg yolks, but not the whole egg. So I was dealing with a serious divergence of recipes and rises and ingredients. Like it went...
Interesting.
Yeah. The core ingredients were relatively the same, but the measurements and rises were different. And how you prepared the fillings and the like the pan was also different. Like, okay, and what ended up happening was where I thought, because of the not needing the third rise an hour apart, this is where my second oven came in. I thought, because I started at about 11, I'm like, well, I'll have time. I'll be done. I told dinner by 4. I'm like, I'll start this at 11 with 2 rises, 2 hours. I'll be fine. This will be done and cooked and gone.
Nope.
No, that's not how it works. In prepping and then the rising and the juggling for the prep and the, it ended up being, I shit you not, it ended up being one of those things where the bottom oven just happened to be at the right temperature at the time it had to be for these to go in for 20 minutes, so that as soon as they were done, Venus's roasted vegetables went in the bottom oven, and the prime rib came out of the top oven to rest for 20 minutes, while the other tray of vegetables and whatnots went in. I mean, it was... Yeah. Nothing got shorted, but it was tight. It was tight. It was like clockwork tight.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit. The second batch came out tits. It was exactly what I remembered as a kid, and it was fluffy, airy, but sweet bread, so it's sort of dense. It's like this.
I don't think I've ever had it, so
I think I have a spare.
That's okay.
I will send you with one. And if you throw up or something, no one needs to know.
We got it at a bakery.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't mine. If you don't like it, it wasn't mine. So there was the juggle. Like, without that second oven, it was.
Well, it was just like, make a batch of cookies, and then you're making hundreds of cookies. So it's like you've got a bowl of the dough, and you're putting them down and then cooking them, and it's one sheet at a time, because if I do 2 sheets, that fucks up shit, and then it's a pain because you gotta rotate. So it's one sheet at a time of however many cookies, and then that one comes out, and then you put the one that you've just filled up back in the oven, and then get them off, let the tray start cool.
Yes.
And then like 3-4 minutes before the other ones come out, you dough the other one back up, and it's just this constant rotation.
Yeah.
And I was getting frustrated with the chocolate chips, right?
Yeah.
Because they were flattening out, and I didn't realize what was wrong.
But that was early on.
That was the first couple batches of cookies, and I thought, so I must have done something wrong in the first. I mean, it's Toll House. It's not like it's magic,
Right.
but I must have done something wrong. And then when the second batch started doing, I'm like, something's up.
Right.
And then I started Googling, right? And then it's like,
Check your oven temp.
it was oven temp and whether or not the baking soda was expired or something. And ours was fresh. So I don't know.
I think the lesson there is, because I haven't done it in a long time,
Calibrate your oven.
is make sure every once in a while check your oven temperature.
You know, my in-laws have always had like a little thermometer inside the oven.
Yeah.
Just like a little circle one that goes on the shelf or on the tray. And I'm like, oh, ours has always been pretty good. I never had to think about it. And then all of a sudden this year it's like, what the fuck is going on? And then I realized,
yeah,
oh, fuck, it's off. It's way off. Like,
way off. 30 degrees.
It was way hot.
Pretty off.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that juggle. And then just the constant shuffle all day. It's like, it's tiring.
I would be interesting, because here's my dad for the Christmas. He bakes what sounds like you went through on Christmas. Christmas Eve. I think he does that for like 3 days straight.
Oh, shit.
Because he shows up for Christmas at pretty much my brother's house, my house, and my sister's house with a bag, a paper grocery bag. So if you need to picture the volume of which these cookies fit in, it is a paper grocery bag for my family, my sister's family, my brother's family. He had a bag for Chuck and Venus's parents, and I'm sure he probably has a bag for Susie, Venus's mom.
Probably everybody gets a bag.
Everybody gets a bag. And we're talking like, what's the big freezer size? Like a quart?
Like a gallon?
Gallon? But yeah.
The big one?
Probably.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3. There's at least 3 gallon-sized Ziplocs full of cookies. One of them is Rice Krispie treats in like a 1 by 1 by 1. So he is cranking these fucking things out. And it has to be for days.
Yeah.
And then he brings them all down. Venus's dad was very humble, but he's like, Jim, we can't.
We can't
eat all these. So he had me get him like a Ziploc, and he like took the cookies,
took what he wanted,
and he's like, please give these to someone, and please take no offense. Someone has, absolutely, don't worry about it. But my dad does this every year.
Wow.
He cranks out hundreds of fucking cookies.
Yeah,
and it's funny because my Venus, all she really cares about is the Rice Krispie treats, and if you get them like Christmas Day, they're the freshest. I think he does. I hope he does the Rice Krispie treats last, because when they're still the moldy, not moldy, good God.
When they're all moldy.
Moldy.
Yeah.
They're still the ooey gooey, like they pull apart and the mushroom. Good fuck.
What is happening at your house? Merry fucking moldy Christmas.
Yeah, marshmallow shitmas, resistmas. Take a fucking field up your ass, Biggie.
With a mushroom.
Yeah, with a mushroom tip. The marshmallow goo, strands pulling apart. She prefers that.
Shanna got really good at making Rice Krispie treats. She was making, for a fundraiser, she was making hundreds of batches of Rice Krispie treats. She got it down. And she was making all different kinds. Like they would be flavored ones or stuffed with different stuff in them.
Yeah.
And then depending on what holiday it was, there would be like, she would sell, they would have a table and they would sell the Rice Krispie treats at like like one of the dance
Mhm.
things or whatever.
Mhm.
And I'm impressed. Like she knows how to make Rice Krispie treats now,
Somewhere along the way, I had someone make the brown butter Rice Krispie treats, and it completely changed like
Rice
my
Krispie.
expectations of Rice Krispies. I'm like, if you're not making it with browned butter, you're just talking
Brown butter and Mazithra.
Yeah, it's yeah. Put
Those
some
are like
cheese on it.
savory. Are they kind of savory, or are they just?
It just makes them kind of. It's just like a nutty.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't really. Well, like the brown butter, like my chocolate chip cookies use the brown butter, and it doesn't make them savory. It's
No.
just a twist. It gives it more body.
Yeah.
It just makes them almost like nutty.
Yeah.
I'm sure your wife knows exactly what I'm talking about because she can't be a pro without.
She's not doing that.
Oh fuck!
Definitely not. But now she can't have marshmallows because they are they're not vegetarian.
Right.
So she uses
right.
the what is it, the fluff? The
Yes.
marshmallow fluff doesn't have the same ingredients, so it's vegetarian.
Oh, okay.
She makes it with that. Fuck. But delicious.
Huh.
Yeah. Don't use vegan marshmallows. They're terrible at making Rice Krispie treats.
Are they?
Yeah. They get really hard. Anyway.
Venus was making Piper. It was Nick's birthday somewhere middle of last week. And she was going to make him a pizookie, like with
cookie with ice cream,
a pan-sized cookie,
a
pizza-sized cookie. They call them pizookies.
Yeah.
Anyway, first birthday, he wanted what would happen if you just made like the pizookie but with no chocolate chips? So somewhere midweek, she was like, while I was off, she was tackling this endeavor, and whatever the recipe was that she was following. It just didn't turn out right. It was too much cookie dough.
Yeah.
For a pie tin, an 8-inch pie tin, in the cooking time, it was just like, no, there was no way it was going to cook all the way through. And I'm like, how much time do you have?
You need a little cast iron skillet cookie size. One about that big. I think
the recipe would have been fine.
Yeah.
If she'd have just known how much of it do I actually need to put in the pie tin so that it's
not too thick.
It's not too thick.
Right.
Right. The only reason it didn't turn out was because it was just too much dough. It was too much cookie dough. But the rest...
It's a crumble cookie.
Right. Yeah. Fucking exactly. We can't have that. So she... And her recipe was just, and she kind of just tapped out. She was like overly frustrated with it, and then she had to get ready because they were going to dinner. And I said, "Just tell me how much time you have. I'll make this happen."
Mm-hmm.
So I just made what do they call that? Blonde. I just made my dough.
Yeah.
Without the chocolate.
So does he not like chocolate?
No, I think it was just that he wanted to see what a chocolate chip cookie.
Without any chocolate
chip, would that be a good cookie? Would that be a good pizookie?
Okay.
Okay, sure it would be.
So it's like essentially it's a sugar and brown sugar cookie.
Yes. I mean yes.
Pretty much.
So in the time it took her because my cookie dough is relatively simple.
Yeah.
There's more time in browning the butter for mine. She took a shower, blow dry her hair. I had remade my dough, and then already put it in the oven in essentially just a big cookie depth. And I'm like, if it works, it works.
So are you making it on a cookie sheet?
No, I put it in a pie tin, like an
in a pie tin.
8-inch pie to go pie tin kind of thing.
And baked it in there too?
And baked it in there.
Okay.
It rose more than a normal cookie, but it was a little bit thicker than I would make a cookie, but cooked fine, golden brown. It cooked exactly like my cookie. I put it on parchment like I cook my cookies in normal human size.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you have nothing either way. Take it. Yeah. I mean, it felt like it was done, but ultimately it wasn't something I was going to ruin to test it. And you absolutely nailed it. Like they all were like nibbling on the fucking edges like little squirrels. And then the dad had some, and then the mom had some, and then she's like, and I've been over there a couple times, and like whole pie slices are missing from it because they finally stopped trying to eat it like an 8-inch fucking cookie.
Right.
And they started cutting it in pie pizza slices.
Yeah.
So it worked out. And I'm like, you didn't tell them I cooked it, right? She's like, no, they think it was me. I'm like,
now do it again.
there you go. See? It's like, just make sure they know. That's all you. Don't tell them the secret.
They won't know now.
They don't need to know.
Yeah.
They don't need to know.
Yeah. That's funny. Melanie tried to make pretzel bites. Was it last night? Maybe 2 nights ago. She got out of the KitchenAid and like made dough and let it rise and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Made little pretzel bites. And then she wanted to make garlic butter ones.
Oh.
But we didn't have any garlic, so she used garlic powder.
Oh. Yeah.
And I think what happened is the butter with the garlic powder on top on the cookie sheet. It was baked.
Oh.
And those motherfuckers just glued themselves to the cookie sheet.
Oh.
That's what I think happened, is the garlic powder like became glue, essentially. Because
so it became a bitch to get them off?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Parchment paper is like my new
it's your son hero.
Yeah.
It's your son hero.
Like I'd never really cooked cookies on parchment paper. The ones that I've been making, like cook them on parchment paper. I have to believe that part of the reason the bottom gets like that crispy, but the top stays. And
so you don't have a sheet underneath them, a cookie sheet, or
they're cooked on a cookie sheet, but it's on parchment paper on the cookie sheet.
Okay.
And normally I would like grease the cookie sheet and cook them on that.
Well, she was like, what is wrong with these pans? And I'm like, girl,
fuck you.
I just cooked hundreds of cookies on these cookie sheets.
Perhaps for Christmas you should have got Daddy new cookies.
Not a one stuck.
Right.
Okay, even the fucking chocolate chip ones I cooked that flattened out like crazy did not stick.
Girlfriend.
Yeah. You're now, those are fighting words.
Yeah, you need to take the steps off.
But what I think it was is the, like I said, I think the garlic powder sort of absorbs the butter and then congeals as it cooks on the hot pan and then just hardens. So when it comes out of the oven, that shit's just stuck.
Sense. I'd buy it.
Yeah. That's what I think happened.
But did they taste good?
Yeah, they were good. And then what we happened, because we ended up having to scrape them off of the thing and left bits of them behind.
Right.
Just put them in the air fryer and let them kind of crisp up in the air fryer. They were good.
Yeah.
Yeah. With some like cheese dipping sauce. She did good. Yeah. She was unhappy because they didn't come out.
So that was the garlic pretzel bites?
Garlic butter pretzel bites.
So did she make normal pretzels
no,
normal
just
pretzel
the
bites and garlic pretzel bites?
No.
Just she did all garlics.
Yeah. They were good though.
Were they?
Yeah.
We're close to time. I have one final thing.
All right.
Have you ever had a manicure?
No.
You need to do that.
I have not had a manicure or a womanicure.
Venus wanted to get her nails done, I think just to get them done before Christmas. And she was going to go with like Piper and all the girls, but schedules and whatnot. And I could tell that she really wanted to get her nails done.
Venus did?
Venus did.
Yeah.
But didn't want to do it. And we were running through, was it Christmas Eve? Might have been Friday. Anyway, we're doing some stuff. And she's kind of like, oh, well, yeah, Piper's busy. And, well, anyway. So we knocked out like a couple things. It had to have been Friday. We knocked out a couple things like here in the garage. And I'm like, are they open? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I'll go with you. If you want to go, I'll go with you. She's like, really? I went, yeah, I don't give zero fucks. Let's go.
Yeah.
She's like, okay. So we went to...
Let's see him.
Yeah, right. So I have not had one,
Yeah.
but she has gotten me like a gift certificate to that, I think it's called Hammer and Nails. I don't know if they're still in business. Like I have got like but I think it's a gift certificate to get my head massaged.
Get hammered
and
in nails.
Yeah, right. We take it to the back room. What number are you? I don't know.
No black lights allowed.
Just go in that back door. I don't like where we're going. I'm happily married. Oh, you will be. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've never had one, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't really care. I get it done, and I know people that have had it done. They're like, you should do it. One is Venus's dad. Like, oh, I don't really want her done, and he, my mother-in-law took him to get like a mani-pedi, and swears by it. I think it's even like on a calendar to make sure that an appointment to like get it done. I'm like, so it's not a thing for me. It's just I've never made the time to do it. So we go out to Rockland at the Studio Movie Grill there right before Loomis. There's a nail place in there. Sit down. Lady asked me like, trim close. I'm like, yeah, sure, the thing. So they trim my nails, like file my nails, and she then take my watch off, and she essentially lotioned and massaged my forearms to my hands. Fucking okay. Like, absolutely.
Go further.
Yeah.
Go further. Keep going further.
I'm cool if you go past the elbows.
Keep going.
Oh, yeah, girl.
Do I need to take off my shirt? Yes.
Yeah. Am I naked in this process? Because I feel like I need to be naked.
I don't know how far you're going to go, but here goes my shirt.
Yeah. I mean, there's my hands on the table and whang.
That's not a 10th or 11th finger.
Yeah. I assure you, that's not a thumb. It lifts cars. Oh, okay. So, they're like, it's a forearm to hand massage. Felt amazing.
Yeah.
So then she kind of walks away, and Venus and I are chatting, and really the thing that Venus was, it's like it's a better experience to take someone with you, because a lot of times the manicurists are conversing in Thai or another language, and so it's better to like have your own conversation so it doesn't feel like you're being talked about. So we're talking, and so I'm in a rest position after getting all greased up like a naughty monkey, and we're talking, and the lady comes walking back, and she puts a lovely warm towel around and it felt so fucking amazing. It was like a warm ass hug, and just wiped my arm down, and then did the other arm, and I can only guess that the lady, the manicurist, beautician, whatever they're called, they're demigods as far as I'm concerned, saw my eyes roll back, because I didn't know I thought she was just going to wipe my arm down.
Yeah.
But the towel was hot and nice.
Yeah.
And she goes, and I go, oh my God, this feels amazing. I'm looking at Venus, and Venus is like, and I went, this is fuck. And the lady looks back at me, she goes, first time? And I went, yes, this is the first one. And then she gets done, and she's like, oh, all done. And she's like, you want shiny? And I went, yes. So then she gets out the fucking buffer, and she just full on buffs my nails into a mirrored shine.
Oh, damn.
And I went, I am a special, special man right now.
I've got a piece of pepper in my teeth.
Yeah. Hey, that's shinier than the top of my head. Fucking full Monty. The only thing I didn't get done was an acrylic or fucking a gloss or something.
Right.
But go. Does your wife get her nails done?
She used to a long time ago, but she does. I asked her several times.
I don't know how much it cost because my wife wouldn't tell me. She told me it was a Christmas present. So I hope
Probably more than you want to know.
Probably, but for the amount of time that they schlepped my hands and forearms, I hope it wasn't too much. But we were in and out in probably 30. She got her nails painted. I don't think we were there half an hour, so I don't know if it's a really easy cash grab for them. But for the small amount of time in which I was pampered,
Yeah.
and
you were with your wife hanging out.
right,
Yeah.
it was a worthwhile experience.
Yeah.
You should go try it with your wife
Well,
or try it with your partner, whoever you are.
my wife's issue is that her fingernails grow funny.
Oh, okay.
Like they kind of like grow up like this on the end of her fingers.
Okay.
And so it's like work and kind of pricey to have her nails done.
Oh, okay.
And she just doesn't care for it much. She used to do it all the time, and now she's like, I'm like, do you want to get your nails done? Because I'm thinking like, I'll take her somewhere. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
She just doesn't seem to have any interest in it. I'm like, oh, okay. Do you want me to paint your toenails? No. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I told the story to Chuck, Vince's dad, he's like, oh, yeah, you need to get the petty. You need to get the petty one because then they like rub your calluses off and they fucking massage your feet and up your calves. And I'm like, I'm there. I'm sold. All I need to do is find the time.
Yeah.
Right. And, the thing was, I had been working on the car, getting the lug nuts off. So I have like a blood blister. My nails aren't perfect either. I have very soft nails. I think my hand even had like some grease that I hadn't quite gotten all the way off. Which
you have keyboard hands that have some dirt on them.
Right. I've got a couple calluses that were like starting to pull away. So my hands aren't perfect. I've got hands that have been used. There's
Don't use
my nails
hands.
aren't perfect either. My fingers do odd things, but I was like, okay, fuck it. Now I don't think I got charged anything extra. That would obviously be a burden, I guess, if you had something special that you needed done in care. But they were like the seat next to Venus. They were testing out some sort of like fingernail art prototypes. Like the lady was like drawing shit on her nails and like had another buddy that was like then doing the other part of it upside down. I'm like, but she's like, did you see what they were doing over there? They were like testing out new designs for like nail art. I'm like, what the fucking what?
Wow.
So this place did it all, and I was very impressed, and I don't think anyone said anything bad about my hands.
Or your face, for that matter.
Or my face, yeah. Fucking whatever. You should try it. If you're looking to try something new, I don't care if you're the most man of mans. Get yourself a manicure.
I just have no interest in it.
It's good for the pampering part. Do you like a massage?
Never had a massage. Never went anywhere and had anybody give me a massage.
Well, that's rude, because just last week you were like, come over to my house and rub me. And I was like, okay, daddy.
But you didn't.
Well,
So it's still
that's because I knew you were lying.
No, I mean, I just haven't ever done it. I just,
It might be a good
whatever.
thing. Well, anyway, with that, we are officially 100% at time.
All right. Well, I think that means it's time for us to tell you a couple things.
You should return the cart.
You should wash your hands.
You should wash your ass.
You should check your oil, Tony.
You should wear the mask where you can.
Yep. And also, you should make the call if you need it.
Register and vote.
You should do the kindness.
And we will catch you next week. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, and I hope you all had a good Christmas.
Yeah.
Take
Bye.
it easy.